A very wonderful afternoon to you out there. Welcome to this week's edition of Hitches and Voices, brought to you by Network for the Advancement of People with Visible Disability, NABVID. NABVID is a non-governmental organization based here in Nigeria, Edo State to be precise, that is advancing the rights of persons with disability. Don't forget, Hitches and Voices is coming to you live on independent television and radio. We are beaming live on radio and on television simultaneously. Today on this program, our focus is definitely going to be on disability, myth, realities, and stories. We're just going to be looking at who are persons with disability. We want to know from the eyes of those who do not have disability what they think of us. And those with disability themselves, they are going to tell their story on today's edition of the program. I'm not alone. With me in the studio, I have one with a disability himself. He's going to be sharing some of his stories with us, as well as certain misconceptions he thinks people out there have about persons with disability. He's Mr. Matthew Oyare Maxwell. Welcome to Hitches and Voices.
Thank you, Mr. Kingsley.
All right, like I said in my opener, today's edition of the program promises to be exciting. Disability is a concept that many people are not so conversant with. That's because one of the challenges of disability is lack of awareness. Because people are not aware, they react to persons with disability differently. And if there's one challenge that persons with disability face all over the globe, it's what we call attitudinal discrimination. People discriminate against us, show us all kinds of attitude because they feel we are less of a human than them. So Hitches and Voices went out to the street to, just try to sample the opinion of some members of the public on what they think disability is. Let's zero into that clip, and I'll be back in the studio to speak with our guest.
Disability, to my understanding, is when someone has disability like handicap, disability of the leg, eyes, and ears. So that's it. When someone is not properly okay.
Disability means as in unable to do the normal things other people can do.
When I hear the word disability, what first comes to my mind is, oh my God. I feel so bad, very, very bad.
Disability are those people that their body are not fully complete. Some have leg pain, some hand pain, even their body is not fully complete.
What comes to my mind, first of all, like it will look like these people, they are like misfortune, they are unlucky, or some can be a result of accidents or stuff like that. I do feel for them most times when I come across some people. Yeah.
I think they are suffering. They really need help. That's what I think. Even most times, I do pity for them because it's stressful for them too. Because, for instance, now a blind man cannot write. As in, people that can see, they can write. So, like now, someone that cannot hear. Now, somebody is talking, cannot hear, but another person, now, if there is attack, now that person cannot hear.
We interacted with some couple of blind girls. Yeah. And one thing I observe about them is that they don't really know who they are talking to, if it's a grown person or small baby or advanced person, but they will just like relate to you as if you guys are age mates.
What I think is that, these are human beings like myself, but it's God that created them. They did not create themselves by themselves. So when we see them, we will see happy on them, and the little help we can render, we render it to them.
Yeah, once I see them, so I try to take care of them, like talk to them like normal human being.
Like all these people, they are supposed to have a group, as in, how will I say it now, an initiative that's supposed to be helping these people.
All right, reactions from members of the public there on what they think disability is. And if there's one thing that stood out for me, It's the fact that a lot of persons see persons with disability and automatically they feel sorry for us. And one of the myths about disability is that when people see us, they feel like we are sick. Well, it's Hitches and Voices, and like I said, I have a guest with me in the studio, Mr. Matthew Orai.
Maxwell.
Orai Maxwell. You just watched that clip right now.
Yes, I did.
People reacting
I did.
to what they think disability is. What's your thoughts?
So interesting. But one of my thoughts when I watch the clips is just that most people do not really understand what disability is all about. Why some do. I think the government needs to do more in letting the public know what disability is really about. Because some people just feel that disability is only when someone could not achieve his or her aim in society, or when someone could not perform what is
physical
expected of him,
functions.
yes, with his physical body, is now seen as he is disabled. Disability in fact, is beyond that.
Oh, do you frown when people refer to you as one with a disability? Does it make you feel bad?
Not
Because
at
people
all.
have that misconception sometimes when they want to refer to your disability. They feel like if they say it, you feel offended.
I don't feel offended because I just see it as ignorant. Ignorance in the sense that if you truly know what disability is all about, you can't just capitalize on what your eyes can see on human being, start calling the person disabled person. Like, for example, there was a time I was about to enter vehicle. The man never knew that I could enter myself. But a statement came from the back, which I was not too comfortable with. That I cannot, that the boy can, but can't you see he cannot enter the vehicle? I try to understand.
Yes.
They just say that, can't you see he cannot enter the, I think they have already summed up that we can't do anything. That once you are disabled, you always need help. People
Okay,
must be
you're
careful.
talking about certain misconception now about persons with disability. Some people just assume that once you are one with a disability, automatically you can't help yourself.
That is major.
You are dependent on people.
Yeah, you are because some person will once they see who has forms of disabilities in him, what they just think about you is he needs help. He wants something. They just see you as where charity is. I don't know if you are
I
getting
get you. So they assume that most persons with disability are cap in hand begging for alms.
Yes. And your appearance alone to them, what's just come to them as at that point is that this person is in need. They feel that the society cannot do with this person. There is nothing you can offer meaningfully into the society. That's what they think, what most persons think about persons with disabilities.
But can you share from your personal experience? I know you've tried to establish certain facts, but can you share more of your personal experience where you've felt that people misunderstood you?
Yes. Recently, I was to lead a team that was offer persons with disabilities, that is in the amputees in Edo State, free artificial limbs. But I myself could not benefit directly from it. So I was now like the team lead. But a religious person, a prominent man in this state, said to us, because we were offered a place, and when we got there, we met that the place was locked. And when we were trying to access the place, the man came, he made a statement. He said, we are so, he said, we have an entitlement spirit. Because he feels that once you are in a place with persons with disabilities, all they just feel is that you need to do this for me. I can't do anything. If I have nothing I can do for myself, but you should always come to my aid. But what I don't really understand is that why did he make that statement that we have an entitlement spirit? And it didn't touch me. I don't really know. I tried to ask some of my friends and the team members who are there. I said, why did this person make this statement that we have an entitlement spirit? This is something that we have had. In fact, we have met before, and you have assured us that we are coming here. But then we have started the program. That day was not even the first day. It was towards the last day of the program. But suddenly, the place was locked. We were locked out. I won't give you details of what happened anyway. But something happened.
We can spare you the details.
Yes. So I felt bad that sometimes, despite your hands, legs, so your body is complete, does not really give you that right to bring down another person's whose legs or arms is not complete.
All right, I'd like to ask a personal question as well. When you walk into a space and you sense that people start feeling sorry for you, how do you respond to that kind of attitude? How do you deal with it?
It happens every day in my life, except I didn't go out. It happens almost every day. People always want to classify me coming. Immediately they saw me coming, they just see that this is someone that needs help.
So you come across as someone needy to them all the time when people see you?
Yes. And some even go to some extent that they always squeeze some changes in my hand. Some will even think I came to beg.
That's quite unfortunate.
Except the few ones who could have patience to listen to me, you now discover that, I even need help from him. Because most of the time, I'm not saying we don't need help, irrespective of who you are, neither disabled or you're an able person. Every human being needs help. Because the stages we are today, one way or the other, someone assisted us to this level.
So in other words, you're emphasizing empathy, not sympathy.
Not sympathy. You don't sympathize with persons with disability. I want that empathy, the love, the genuine love.
And understanding.
And understand us. You don't do something for me because he has one leg. He could not use his hand. He could not see. Or this language that's usually cut across the black now, say when they see you disabled, automatically you are in need. Or this is where charity lies.
You're still on to Independent Television and Radio. The program is still Hitches and Voices. Don't forget, Hitches and Voices comes to you courtesy of Network for the Advancement of People with Visible Disability, NAVID. I will go on a short break now. When we come back, we'll continue.
I don't believe that I'm a burden. I don't believe that I'm an inconvenience. Society treats disabled people as though they are less than.
Say the word, I'm disabled, it's okay.
Nobody ever wants to focus on disability because they think that it's a bad thing. I don't think that it's a bad thing. My disability is called Larsen syndrome. It is a genetic joint and muscle disorder.
So I wear a tracheostomy tube, it helps me breathe, and I have it due to vocal cord paralysis.
I have cerebral palsy and I walk with a walker. If you have questions about that, happy to answer them.
Sometimes strangers will just ask questions in a way that they act like they're entitled to my life story.
Don't immediately ask what happened.
And the answer is nothing happened and nothing's wrong.
What happened implies that it is something that I became.
And it's like, I'm not interrupting your day by making these weird comments and asking questions.
What is that? Like why do you need that?
And it's not that I'm embarrassed or ashamed. I'm not. And I will talk to you about my disability. I talk about disability all the time.
I would prefer if people didn't pretend like my disability doesn't exist.
No, I have a disability and I'm okay with that. When you're using terms like differently abled, you're actually erasing the fact that disability is a part of my identity.
Oftentimes people say, oh my God, you're so inspirational, or you're so brave and courageous.
I was in a gay bar. There were two men and one of them started crying. And then he comes up to me and hugs me. And I realized he's crying at me.
Another word for it is inspiration porn. I don't really feel that brave and courageous for just going about my day with my disability.
If this video turns into an inspiring video, I'm literally going to start some problems. Thank you.
Don't make assumptions about what I can and can't do.
It is assumed that we are not in control of our bodies, and that's just complete bullshit.
People often try to help me without asking first.
The correct way to ask if somebody would like help is to say, would you like some help? The next step is to say, what is the best way to help you?
For example, if I'm putting my coat on in public, I have a certain way of putting my coat on, and then someone will come up, grab the coat while I'm in the middle of putting it on, and say, oh, let me help you with that. And I said, how about you say, can I help you with that?
Ask, 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 and don't assume that you know. There are lots of questions about what you can and can't do in the bedroom. There are just kind ways to frame those questions. Basically saying can you get hard? That's not gonna make me want you unless you're really hot, and then I'll find a way to
Just more people need to look at themselves and be like, why is it that I'm writing off this person just because of their disability?
Is my being in a wheelchair really going to make me so different than any of the other people that you go on a date with? Give it a shot.
This may be new territory for you. You may never have gone out on a date with a disabled person. You may never even consider that you might want to go on a date with a disabled person. You should consider that.
All right, those are your voices of persons with disability reacting to, what they think and how they think you should approach them. With me in the studio is still Mr. Matthew. He's one with a disability. He's been sharing certain misconceptions he thinks people have about persons with disability. So, Mr. Matthew, I'd like to ask you, how would you define yourself as one with a disability? If you were to define yourself, how would you define yourself?
Simple, courageous.
Oh, courageous.
Very courageous.
Do you feel like your disability is part of your identity? It's part of what defines you?
I have this world that always give me joy whenever I remember. I always look at it because I wrote it somewhere in my room. My scar defined my star. No matter how deep is my scar, that makes sense to me because the rising of my star is there.
Yeah.
So, I am always courageous and trying to motivate myself. I wouldn't waste anyone to come and motivate me to become whom I was created to become.
Wonderful inspirational words there from Mr. Matthew, telling us that he's courageous, he believes in himself. And one of the things we say in the disability community is that disability is not just the physical limitation, the defects to your eyes, to your limbs, to your sense of hearing. Disability are those barriers inhibiting persons with disability from achieving their potentials in life. Think about it. If I go to a story building and I'm on a wheelchair and I'm unable to access the first floor because of lack of ramp, that is the disability. If one without a disability comes to the same building and there are no staircase to aid him to go upstairs, automatically he too becomes one with a disability. So disability is not just the physical defect. Disability are those barriers, those inhibitions that are on the ways of persons with disability, whether environmental, whether structural, whether social, all kinds of barriers. Once they are eliminated, I can tell you there are no disabilities. So you should look beyond our physical limitation and see us as humans. It's been Hitches and Voices on Independent Television and Radio. Like I said, we are broadcasting live on television and on radio as well. I would like to say a big thank you for joining us on the program today. But I will sign off with one clip. Before I do that, I'd like to say thank you, Mr. Matthew, for coming on the program today.
Bless you.
All right, do well to join us same time, same station on Hitches and Voices. You can follow us on our various social media platforms, www.facebook.com/NAVID-Nigeria. Instagram and Twitter is @NAVID-Nigeria. We'll do this again same time, same station. Till then, spot the hitch and be a voice.
I feel so blessed to be able to just live my life and have people be motivated by it.
I have a spinal cord injury, and so when I was seeing people roll by, I was like, wow, so that's what I'm gonna look like.
I think I'll do a bit of it. I know. I think it's cancer and kids.
I was born paralyzed. I was born with spina bifida. So I've been paralyzed my whole life, and it's the only life I know. So I had to kind of grow into learning I was different.
My biggest insecurity is my legs. So I decided, hey, if that's my biggest insecurity, then I'm gonna start a gene line. And all of the pictures are based around my genes and my legs and other people's legs. And that's where I realized that it's okay to be different. Because once you embrace it, your entire world changes.
People need they allow to react to me a lot of times. So like, I make little jokes like, "Hey, calm down, it's okay. I'll be okay."
I would have people treat me as if I wasn't really there, and I would have people treat me like they didn't want anything to do with me. And perhaps it's because they were scared and they didn't know any other response.
One of my favorite things is when I'm out in public and I have all my girls with me who are all in chairs, who are all gorgeous. And we literally love when we see heads just turn.
Society doesn't correlate disability and being attractive. We are beautiful people. Everyone's beautiful in their own way, but we can be stylish. We can be gorgeous and stunning and fabulous, as I like to say, because yes, I see myself as being fabulous.
Being a dancer, you know, once a dancer, always a dancer, I didn't stop. So I would go out to the clubs and I would get my boogie on. And I was surprised by how guys would approach me and be like, "Hey, you're hot." And they wouldn't say, "You're still hot." They would say, "You're hot."
There is the black and white. There's the bad and there's the good. So as long as you're focusing on the good, then the bad just seems to melt away.
We're only given one life, and you gotta be proud of it.
You wanna bust a couple of moves?